There once was a man named Gold Roger who was king of the pirates. He had fame, power, and wealth beyond your wildest dreams. Before they hung him from the gallows, these were the final words he said.
Our perspective is yours for the taking, but you'll have to join us first. We left everything we debated at the Yonkō Table.
Ever since, pirates from all over the world set sail for the Grand Line, searching for the Yonkō Table, the table that will make their dreams come true.
Yo, folks, welcome to the latest and the greatest from the Yonkō Table. That is the voice of GrandMasterHoop coming at you at the helm. And again, I'm steering this Star Destroyer to a galaxy far away so we can talk about Obi-Wan Kenobi. Yes, that's right. Obi-Wan Kenobi. We have reached episode 5, the penultimate episode of this hit miniseries in the Star Wars universe. But hey, I'm never alone on this helm. But before we get to who's here, let me first just mention, after what you hear from us today here at the Yonkō Table, be sure if you want to join the conversation, but please join our Patreon. And our Patreon is up so you can join the Discord. All right, in the Discord we got the conversation continuing. We're giving more details, we're getting into deeper discussions, we're getting into debates. Make sure you join the Discord. All right, but hey, I can't steer this giant Star Destroyer alone. With me as always is fellow Yonkō, DrJaceAttorney. DrJaceAttorney, penultimate episode of Obi-Wan. What's your take overall?
Overall, there were some bits and pieces I was not a fan of, but there were parts that I really did like. And there were cool moments and some character moments. I noticed on social media that people were more or less really praising this episode, and I didn't see it in that same praise of light, but that was just me. There were some things, and we'll get into it, that I kind of questioned, why is this person doing that? Or this person has not. Well, we'll get into it. But
for sure,
I'm divided, and there were scenes that I did not like, but that was kind of balanced out with scenes that I actually did like. And I think the scenes that I did like are kind of universal, that these were probably the best scenes in the episode. But I did enjoy it more than last week's episode. I still think last week's episode was probably, so far, Obi-Wan's weakest. This one was better than last week's. Episode 3, I think, is maybe the best one so far. And episodes 1 and 2 kind of blended in together. Actually, no, I really liked episode 2. I really liked episode 2 of Obi-Wan as well. But yeah, this week's episode better than last week's, at least.
Hey, fair statement. We're going to get into it. Yes, a lot of characters, some character resolutions, some big character moments, some big cool moments. But was it all shiny and sparkly as a kyber crystal? Who knows? But before we get into it, yeah, you like that? Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah, theming. Before we get into it, let's hear what supernovas are going to be joining us today. All right. Yes, I think this was the best episode so far. That's just me.
Wow.
That's just me. I really like what happened in this episode.
Okay.
That's all I'm gonna say. There are some things I have gripes with, some like kind of logical things. That's where I stand. Toasty, where do you sit?
To keep it brief, at the beginning anyway, the part where I was not asleep, I did enjoy this episode. It had some really good parts. Last week's episode, like you guys mentioned, was total garbage. This one was kind of garbage also. Different kind of garbage, but they both stink. So that's what I'm gonna
gonna
go
put
with.
it in the same tier as last week's episode?
I did say it was a different kind of garbage. Just that one still stinks. It's still garbage.
Okay.
Man,
Interesting.
It was slightly better, but
I'm
it was still garbage.
not that harsh on it. I there are parts I did not like, and we're gonna talk about it, but I didn't hate the episode.
No, this is good.
Hey,
this is
the
good.
part I was awake.
good.
I did
It's
enjoy, guys. The part I was awake,
okay.
so that was like 100% of the time.
Let's
Okay.
do
Fall
it.
asleep.
Let's do it.
All right, let's talk about the elephant of the room. This episode opens up with a flashback. In a flashback, everybody knew this was probably going to happen. The moment they said this actor was coming back, we were going to get a flashback. It would be dumb to only get this actor in costume. We have a flashback to young Padawan Anakin Skywalker.
Young, in quotation marks.
Young Hayden Christensen back with a young Ewan McGregor in a flashback that probably predates the Clone Wars. I think it was right before Attack of the Clones. And I'm here for it because I like seeing Hayden Christensen. It's a fan moment. This is definitely a fan service type of moment. Every fan wanted this. Did it work though? I think it worked because I liked how it paralleled to Obi-Wan and Darth Vader's kind of mentality going into this episode. So I like how it was interwoven throughout the entire episode. Now, did much happen in the flashback? No, it was just a 1v1 and to just a little training. But
Right.
I do like the parallel as far from a character standpoint. But definitely everybody's going crazy for this. This is what kind of the big deal everybody's making about this episode. What did y'all think?
I did like this. Oh, Toasty, go ahead.
I'll just say, thanks. For me, I have a really bad, I have a lot of difficulty remembering people's face. Not opinion, yeah. Just remembering people's face. And I hated the fact, because I didn't realize it until I called Dr. Jace later, after I was done with the episode. I didn't realize that was the same actor that played Anakin when he was younger. I didn't realize because he looked like a grown man. And from what I know about the Clone Wars, the part where he has that little ponytail, that's when he's supposed to be a Padawan. He still had a baby face in the original movie. I know Disney has money. They could have CGI his face to look like a kid. Instead, we had a grown man playing a Padawan when in reality, like, he didn't look like this.
Even I think they did de-age him just
you
a tiny
think they? I want you to move to the side. I want you to move. That is not boy face Anakin from Clone Wars.
I can see the crow's feet from here.
Go look at like the premiere shots. You know, they're on the press tour.
Okay.
He's much older in the face in real life. They de-aged him, but they didn't do it a lot. They didn't do it too much.
They didn't do it enough.
Exactly.
Right. Oh, that's fair. That's fair. It's fair to say they didn't do it enough. He does look older than he did in 2002 when the Attack of the Clones came out. I agree. Yeah. But there's a little bit of de-aging, especially under the eyes. If you look at a side by side,
it's like makeup.
I see it like in the mouth,
cheekbones,
in the cheekbone area. And I know people are gonna take to social media and defend this type of stuff, saying like, "Oh, he's older. Of course he's gonna look older." It's Hayden. It's what when he filmed Attack of the Clones, it was what, maybe 2000, 2001.
2001, probably, yeah.
Yeah, and then the movie actually came out in like 2002, I think.
Yes.
And it's like, yeah, of course he's gonna look older, but it's like, yeah, I understand that, but it's like what you said. They got makeup, they got Disney de-agifying technology. Yep. When I see a scene like this, it pulls me out because like that was the first thing that I noticed, and I wanted to see Hayden Christensen again as, you know, Anakin holding a lightsaber. I did want a flashback scene with Anakin and Obi-Wan, and maybe they're going off on a mission together with the clone troopers, or maybe we see a little Ahsoka. I don't know, maybe that would have been neat, but
that's later,
that's fine.
Until it becomes a Jedi.
That's fine. But like when they showed this and that I see his face, I'm like, oh my god,
it pulls you out.
It pulls me out. I'm like, okay, that's older Hayden Christensen trying to portray boyish early 20s, late teens Anakin Skywalker.
Okay, you know what?
And part of it is Obi-Wan as well. Obi-Wan, he still looks good for
he does, yeah.
For especially portraying younger Obi-Wan. I felt like they pulled him out of like a time capsule for the flashback scene, because that's supposed to be mullet Obi-Wan from Attack of the Clones, right?
Right.
So I think they did a great job with Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan in the flashback. Part of it also is maybe because Ewan McGregor was already a grown man in a way.
It's probably easier, yeah.
It's very easy to kind of look similar, 10 plus years later, as opposed to Hayden, who was very young when he filmed Attack of the Clones, fast forwarding to now he's very grown, and you're going to see a difference.
I don't accept this as an excuse. Disney has money. If I was the director, I would have done a better job by first starting. I would have every time there's a flashback, I would have shown a sequence starting from young Anakin Skywalker, from when he first joined the Jedi to when he actually became a Jedi. So instead of having one fight, it would have been like in the same setting, but every time there's a flashback, you would have noticed Anakin grew up a little bit older and his fighting style became more violent. That would have been cool.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying?
Nice.
Yeah, think about it. Like first seeing baby Anakin just barely swing the lightsaber, then teenager Anakin, which I don't think we ever seen. At least I've never seen teenager Anakin.
In the Attack of the Clones, he is technically a teen timeline wise, because it's only been like 8 years since
right.
So, and he's 20 at the time of filming that movie. So
was he really 20?
I just looked it up. He's 20 years old.
Wow. Wait, the actor at Hayden
Christensen is 21 years years old.
That's
at
cool.
the time of filming. Yeah.
But you see, that's something that would have been cool to show like the evolution of Anakin, like fighting style. I feel like that's something the fans would have loved to see, him being innocent or being, I guess, gentle with the blade or the lightsaber initially, and then becoming more and more violent, saying, I gotta win.
In canon,
that would have been cool.
In canon, Attack of the Clones, he was 19 years old.
Oh, there you go.
So
same age.
Same age as Hayden.
Well, you see?
So
what age was he? Like, I mean, we know we seen him as a kid, and now we saw him at 19. So like, I guess
what's
in the
between?
first,
like, his tween years.
Yeah, like him. Yeah, 10, 12, 13 years old, him just growing up. Those are scenes they could have shown. And I mean, it could have been the same setting, the same platform, and boom, just every time a little bit.
You could have, but that's a lot harder to do because the kid actor for Anakin, Jake Lloyd, I don't know. He's probably in his 30s now.
I mean, just get a generic kid. Nobody's gonna know.
I feel like they didn't need to bring back Jake Lloyd if they couldn't get him, which they probably wouldn't have, because he stepped away from acting like over a decades ago at this point. But
they bullied him.
Yeah, they did. It's unfortunate.
Before the internet.
Before the internet, which the early days of the internet at that. But I mean, either way, maybe I would have done something a little bit different with this scene, but I still liked it just to see these characters again in their prime quotation marks. But I like seeing them. I honestly thought we were gonna get this a lot earlier, like a flashback scene. Mm-hmm. And I thought it would have been cool to show, like, again, I'm a big fan of the Clone Wars, the television series. And you see so many missions where they go off with the clone troopers or Commander Cody or Rex. And they're going off on missions as Jedi generals. I kind of wanted to see that in Obi-Wan, just a flashback scene like this one, but they're actually on a mission.
They might be saving that for Ahsoka.
I mean, they very much could. I think Hayden Christensen has come out and said he's doing some scenes for Ahsoka. So they very much could.
They could.
I definitely would have liked to see that too, just because this is a play it safe flashback. They're just them two training in Coruscant is very safe. This one was very safe. If you do something in the Clone Wars, I guess right off rip, that's going to be more money. And then you got to be very selective which characters are going to show up.
What are you showing
in that scene?
Like,
what are you showing? Right. I mean, I would have been fine. You take a Clone Wars episode and just kind of do the live action treatment of it. Yeah. You know, just to put it in live action form, I think would have been really cool to see. But we could very much get another flashback in the finale.
We could. There's hope.
There's hope. That's the thing about Star Wars. There's always hope, right?
Interesting.
Did you like though? Because Toasty, you're talking about the aggressive nature of Anakin. I really dug how they, alluded to kind of Anakin is basically still the same aggressive nature when it comes to confrontations. He's very much, trying to always prove himself. He's aggressive in nature, and he forgets.
Hard-headed.
Yeah, he's hard-headed, and that's kind of always been Anakin's MO. But I like how they would immediately. It was always kind of Obi-Wan who started the present, and then they do the flashback, and then it goes straight to Vader and what he was doing.
Oh, did they?
Yeah. In my rewatch.
Okay.
Yeah, in my rewatch, that's literally, I think only one time did it start with Vader, then the flashback.
Oh,
I think only one time.
But they were always connected. They would show either Anakin or Vader, and then they would show the flashback.
No, I mean, or it was like the flashback would end on Anakin, cut to Vader.
Okay, got it. That's
so
cool. I didn't notice that.
Right, and then also too, I think thematically, it was almost like Vader picked up the rest of the flashback, and Obi-Wan forgot the rest of how that memory went, because he at one point during the episode he's like, "Oh, we lost, it's over," but he won that training montage, like that battle, because he forgot that Anakin is just trying to always prove himself that he's blinded, and he leaves himself open, and which is exactly what happened in their great escape scene. So this is not necessarily a problem with the episode itself or even the scene. It's more or less one of the many reasons why I just freaking hate the Jedi at this point in the series, because you have a fight scene like this. I rewatched this, not the episode, but the fight scene. I went through, because I know it's split up across the episode. I went back and kind of rewatched those segments. Anakin was just swinging his lightsaber the way Obi-Wan was, to the point where he would, kind of corner him enough to, have a quick dialogue. And during all those moments, Obi-Wan's like, "This is not the Jedi way, Anakin." And I'm thinking to myself, I'm sorry, are you just saying that because you're losing?
Yup, 100%.
Because again, if there were scenes, and again, this is the direction, if there were scenes where I just see Anakin, because we've seen it before in movies and even in the cartoon series, where Anakin is really going in on someone with his lightsaber, like he is going like batshit insane, right? And that anger shows even in his younger years. So I kind of wanted scenes like that to be more obvious that, Anakin is tapping in to his anger or trying to prove himself. He's very cocky in this fight. I'm telling you, I watch those scenes and Anakin would just immobilize Obi-Wan like any other Jedi in a sparring match would. And Obi-Wan would be like, "Anakin, why are you always trying to prove yourself? Aren't we sparring, Obi-Wan? Like, what do you want me to do?"
This is why the Jedi lost the war, because they were always playing games.
Like in my head, I'm trying to think from Anakin's perspective. I would be frustrated in this scene. I would be frustrated, because in what way would Obi-Wan have approved of how this fight would have went? He would
have approved if Anakin came up with some way to disarm him while that Obi-Wan couldn't see coming. Because that was the whole conclusion of the fight was, he's like, "Oh, you're disarmed, master. You lost." And Obi-Wan is basically saying, you think just because I'm disarmed, or you think just because you think you've beaten your opponent that they have lost the will to continue the fight. Well, that's not necessarily true. The Jedi need to open their mind to every kind of possibility. And that's when Obi-Wan takes his lightsaber at one point.
Yeah.
That fight.
He pushes him and then he uses the Force.
Right. So, I get both sides of this argument. Yes, in a fight, Anakin's right. Show no mercy. Win at any cost. If it's life or death, win.
Yeah.
Mind you, he's not like trying to kill him. He's not like trying to maim him or cut off his arm, or he's just he's putting his lightsaber on his, like kind of forcing him down, saying, "My man, surrender." There, that's it. Just surrender. I don't know.
No, it's a good argument. I mean, it's the hubris of the Jedi is their ultimate downfall. They are idiots, you know. Yeah. Again, you cannot sniff out Palpatine. He's right there, man. He be in a room with 10 Jedi Masters. Ain't nobody can sense the dark side on this dude.
They were blinded. They were.
Yes.
Oh my God.
But I still, despite that, I still like the choreography. They brought back that I forgot that fighting style that they called it.
It's based on Kendo, no?
Kendo, that's what it was.
Yes.
It's that acrobatic style where we see lightsabers like going boom, 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 you know, all over the place, as opposed to the slower, more methodical, like what we see in the later movies, like the original trilogy. So I like seeing that because we have not seen that live action in quite a while. I don't even think they've done that really in the sequel trilogy.
They did not. The sequel, oh God, I hate the sequels. They were just raw. I mean, it makes sense. Again, there are no Jedi and Luke is not training nobody. So, you know.
Right. And even if he was, he would train them in his style. Like
he's not doing Kendo.
Right.
Which, oh man, it sucks to see it. But no, it is true. So in this fight too, I feel a lot of the movements mimicked their fight on Mustafar, Toasty's background.
Yeah.
Like very much so. I mean, granted, that fight too was very much Obi-Wan on the defensive, looking for the opening, looking for the high ground, and Anakin just being mad aggressive with it. So I like that. And then too, you know, it thematically speaking, I feel it works because at the end of the day, these two were best friends. They're brothers.
That's still
you know. Yeah, it hits, man. It hits. And you're watching and you're thinking, could Vader be redeemed in this story, in the Obi-Wan series? You know, is he that far gone? Because he and I said this too when we were talking about, I think episode 2, or no, maybe it was episode 3. I forget. We were talking about it one episode, and I was like, he was really gone in that Mustafar fight. You know, he was like, I can overthrow the Emperor, Padme. It's our galaxy, you know. And then, you know, you're a liar. You're with him.
You used her against me.
Yes, the dude is gone. But as Vader, I feel he's dialed back a little bit. He's more calculating. He has a temper, but he's not like crazy, you know?
Right.
Could he be thinking, you know, maybe I could bring Obi-Wan to my side. Maybe I just want to chop off one of Obi-Wan's limbs and talk with him.
I already burned him, you know?
And burned him. He burned him, right?
I taught him a lesson. I taught him what it was like on the lava planet. You know, it hurt. It hurt. That was just one side. You know, I got the full cooking treatment everywhere.
Right. He just wants to know how he felt. He's like, I want you to know my pain.
Oh my
now
God.
that you know my pain, let us negotiate.
honestly.
Let's sit at the table.
Right. You know, I feel if Obi-Wan came, you know, and just like, hey, put me in handcuffs, Vader ain't gonna cut him down. He's either gonna torture him, or you know he's gonna talk to him. You know they're gonna have a conversation. That's what I'm waiting for, this conversation.
I want the conversation because, like, it's one of those things where you know Vader, no matter what happens, he's not turning over a new leaf because, you know, he doesn't.
Right.
But, like, part of me, even knowing that, I still like seeing scenes like this because it's like, like you get scenes like, oh man, I mean, like in the Clone Wars, the season finale of the Clone Wars. Spoiler, by the way, if you haven't seen the final episode from 2018.
20-year-old show.
Well, the finale is like maybe from 2018. So it's like
it's okay.
It feels like 20 years.
It's from 2020. It's okay.
Anyways, the season finale, right? All at the very, very, very end, Vader goes to the I think it's like a ship wreckage.
Oh, the wreckage, yeah,
the
of
wreckage.
the 501st.
Right, and I think that's where Ahsoka's lightsaber dropped.
Yes, no, she buried them there.
She buried them. She buried them. All of this is silent, and I love this. Where Vader's walking up, he finds the lightsaber, he digs it out, and he just looks at it, and then he just he just stares, and he like walks away. And that's it. There's nothing that he says, but just that silence alone makes me think what was going through his mind. What was he thinking? He knows that Ahsoka, like, what does he think? Is he thinking like, is Ahsoka alive? Is she dead?
Right.
Should I bring her to my side? Should I kill her? Like, I like that. I like thinking that, and I like, hopefully the finale delivers. I like thinking what his idea is once he gets a hold of Obi-Wan. What's the mentality going in?
But you see,
is he thinking he wants to save him? Well, not save him, recruit him, kill him, torture him. What's the mind games being played here? I want that same feeling I got where Vader saw the lightsaber with Ahsoka. I want to see something like that in the finale for Obi-Wan. That's
the main difference. The people that wrote the Clone Wars, when they wrote the story, they had a passion for the show. They didn't just write it to make a few bucks. And that's the difference between the Clone Wars and this show.
You're saying the writers don't have passions for Obi-Wan?
They have zero, in my opinion, it has zero passion. It feels like it's a show that is made just to make money. Like, for me at least, like, I absolutely hate the Star Wars universe, but the Clone Wars is what made me a show apart from the games. The Clone Wars was so well written. You could see in every episode, the writers took their time to write the dialogue. Everything had a meaning. You mentioned right now the ending. He walked up to the grave where Ahsoka buried all of the stormtroopers that were with her on the ship that crashed. She buried her lightsaber. That scene was silent. But at the same time, it still has an impact on you 4 years later. That is excellent writing. Meanwhile, from what I can see, the Star Wars fans have not gotten a good live action movie about Jedis in the last, 40 years?
About Jedi.
I like the prequels.
You like the prequels, but like from what I've seen, the fans of this series are so toxic, they don't even consider the prequels to be that good. They will go around and say like the older movies are better. Like,
I mean, that is the consensus that the older movies are the best ones. There is a little bit of revisionist history with the prequels where they were panned for the most part when they were initially released. But as time went on, especially when the sequel trilogy came out,
the sequel trilogy as in Rey Skywalker?
Yes. When those movies started coming out, people started looking back at the prequels and started thinking, were we a little harsh on them?
Were we the bad guys?
Were we the bad guys in all this? And it's like, no. It had bad moments in the prequel trilogy, but it's still better than the sequel.
But you see, this is the issue.
But yeah.
The prequel trilogy from the early 2000s are not good because they were good or better now because people were too harsh. They're better because you guys were handed a platter of garbage in the last 5 years. And people said, holy shit, what is this mess? The one we got 10 years before that was actually way better. Guys, let's go back. We keep going further down the road. Like, we need to make a U-turn.
I'm going to put it like this. I'm going to tie it back to Obi-Wan. With the Clone Wars, Dave Filoni is like the head dude, right?
Right.
And Dave Filoni has been with Star Wars, Clone Wars, Rebels, and now he's doing The Mandalorian. He's got his foot in all things Ahsoka. Clear vision, right? Not to mention Clone Wars, you got a lot of room to play.
Yeah.
Sequels, you lose because they had this whole, directors and the studios getting involved. It was never going to work. What you have here in the Obi-Wan show, you have Deborah Chow and some of the writers who are fans, but they're really just not taking it to next level of what you can do with the Star Wars universe. They're keeping it very formulaic, very tropey.
Safe.
Yeah, they're playing it very safe. For example, let's get into the siege of Jabim. So they're on this planet, Jabim. This siege I mean, it's very typical, but for me, I feel the logic is not here. And I say this with the whole sacrifice scene of Tala.
Oh,
It is a narrow cave where they turn corners. Why are y'all not camping at one corner
in their blind spot,
blasting them as
anybody
they come down?
Oh man.
You want to know more? You want to ask an even better question? She had a grenade.
Why didn't she use it earlier?
Crap out of Reva and the rest of the. Get back! Oh my God, a grenade! Why didn't you throw that earlier?
Why did she have one grenade? Why did she have one grenade? Who carries one grenade?
Don't give me that BS of we were afraid that the tunnel would collapse. You never
let
know.
the tunnel collapse. It blocks the way.
You see, I've had problems with this episode.
And you see, this the writing. There's no passion in it. They don't think about it. They really had this entire scene to make the episode longer. The girl had the stormtrooper fire missiles into the door when all she had to do was use her lightsaber to cut it open, and it took her 5 seconds.
But she's a commander.
Or why? Or why play the games and send those 2 mini ships with those things when you can bring in the bigger spaceship? I can't remember why it's called, the triangle one.
The destroyer.
The destroyer. They could have brought the destroyer into the planet's surface, drop bombs after bombs on it.
A Star Destroyer?
The Star Destroyer can fire on a planet. It can.
Like target a specific. They're gonna blow up the whole facility.
But I will say
is huge.
They didn't want to kill Obi-Wan. I know that.
Okay,
much.
You know what?
They didn't want to kill Obi-Wan. Star Destroyer is like
Obi-Wan.
You attack a base with a Star Destroyer. That's like
sending.
Yeah, it's.
I mean, it's called a Star. It's called a Star Destroyer.
Okay, you know what? I'll give you guys that. But still, my point still stands. She cuts the door in literally 2 seconds. She cut it like butter. They spent 10 minutes negotiating. Open the door. No, I won't open the door. Open the door. No. Like, for God's sake.
There's always that negotiating phase that the Empire likes to put up that, we're not monsters.
But they are.
They are. But again, it's that face. It's that face that they put up because they do it with everything else too. They always like to seem like they're the, we're being very civil about this. And we're gonna talk things out, but at the end of the day, we're getting what we want, no matter what. I mean, we don't.
We'll shoot anybody to get what we want.
But what's the point of putting in this game when all of the people in that cave are supposed to be rebels that you want to kill anyway? Who are they gonna talk to? The people in the afterlife?
Well, they don't know that they're not rebels. They're just aren't they trying to what? They're part of the path.
They are the path. They are trying to get most of their people they're trying to get out. I mean, I don't think they confirmed that any of these people were, but they're trying to help the force sensitive children and the force sensitive people to not be kidnapped.
There was a couple kids in there, so
there very much could have been some kids.
No, there were a couple kids because there was this lady talking to her son.
Yeah, they just didn't confirm though if they were force sensitive.
Okay, that's right.
I guess that would have been too much, which I thought would have been cooler to see. But yeah, my problem with this episode is this siege. Like all the points we're making right now, it did not work for me. Like very much so could have just cut it open with your lightsaber. Obviously that blaster didn't do nothing. That big tripod.
The gates were sealed. Sealed. So
it did nothing. And then too, Reva. I mean, we could start talking about Reva.
We could talk about Reva.
She said, my one problem with Reva this episode is
there's one.
Oh,
just
listen, I am here for Reva. I did not like how she put Obi-Wan back behind the door with like 2 stormtroopers.
But that was her goal, wasn't it?
She was like, hold them here, close the doors, can't be seen. You mean to tell me Obi-Wan's not gonna escape? That was a dumb move.
I think there's the argument of why did Reva do that? Because that doesn't make any sense. It's like you want him to get away, but on the other side, this is right after the conversation where she's speaking with him.
The big reveal.
Which is
she's a youngling.
She was that youngling.
She was that youngling.
Actually, that conversation, can we speak about how they had this entire conversation about betraying Darth Vader in the middle of a battalion of stormtroopers? Yet none of the stormtroopers turn around and say, hold up, is this lady talking about betraying Darth Vader?
She was whispering.
She is whispering.
Oh, for God's sake.
And not only that, like let's think about it. Let's think about it. You're a stormtrooper that's out of ear distance, listening distance from hearing that conversation. You know they're talking, knowing that is your commanding officer, and knowing what the Empire does to people for slipping on banana peels like every other week. Are you going to raise your voice and say, Grand Inquisitor, what are you talking about?
Oh
yeah,
God.
nah, they know their place, right?
They know their place.
Even
They know
then,
their place.
man,
But I do agree.
hate it.
I listen. I agree. I didn't like that they were just whispering in front of the middle of the stormtroopers.
It looks sus. But did you like the reveal though? And especially, I find the biggest part of the reveal for me is that she's trying to kill Vader this whole time. She's just trying to get close to Vader. Now, you ever seen Hero? Dr. Jace, you remember that movie Mr. Young made us watch?
Hero.
Yeah,
Hero with the colors.
trying to
with,
get close
Jet
to the
Li.
Emperor.
Right.
Yeah, with Jet Li. She's working her way up the ranks to get close to him, to kill him. Did you like that aspect? Were y'all there for that?
Because it was badly made. I didn't care enough for her.
Okay, wait. I liked what the plan was, right? I like it was, I am a youngling Jedi. I am blinded by rage. Therefore, I will join the Empire, do whatever I have to do to get close to Vader. And that means killing people, subjugating people, all that stuff. I don't care. I want to get close to Vader. Yeah. And once I get close, I do what I got to do. I like that part of it. But there are elements in certain parts of that plan that I do not like. And
go ahead.
Oh, okay. All right.
We're waiting. Let's go.
Let's do it. Okay. Why exactly does Reva not trust Obi-Wan? And they raised the question saying, "Oh, but you're the one that raised Anakin. You're his master. He's your Padawan. You know, why should I join your side?" Reva, I'm sorry. Aren't you trying to at least kill Vader? Isn't the logic this man has been, and again, the counter to this is always going to be, she's blinded by rage. She's blinded by rage. She's not thinking clearly. She's blinded by rage. I don't buy Reva not trusting Obi-Wan and thinking that, what does she think the worst Obi-Wan's going to do if she sides with Obi-Wan? She's going to stop him from killing Vader? She thinks she's going to betray him to Vader because he's Anakin? I'm sorry, Reva. Did you know that this man burned him? Like, got the Force and dragged him through a pit of fire and cooked him? I don't think Obi-Wan wants him back.
I'm gonna defend Reva real quick. I get
that's just one part. That's just one part.
I see the logic behind your part. I was like, Reva, you're dumb. You should just team up with Obi-Wan, and take him out. But however, there's two parts. I get it because she's like, where were you, Obi-Wan, during the Jedi Temple siege? Where were you when he was killing all these younglings? And so here's my thing. Here's my thing.
I didn't know he was
killing
younglings.
This is my thing. This is my thing. My thing is this. I get it. You're not very trusting of Jedi right now but
you see,
the Jedi were not the ones.
You're struggling right now.
No. Here it is. You're pointing your mistrust at the wrong people. There were Jedi fighting the clones that whole time on Coruscant. So I get if you have a major distrust of clones, right?
Right.
Where was Obi-Wan? You're in the middle of the freaking Clone Wars. All the Jedi are spread out over the galaxy.
Where were you? Why weren't you on Coruscant the day that it mattered?
You're gonna put that on Obi-Wan? Where's Yoda? Yoda would have never let that happen.
Do you think Obi-Wan being chased by Vader all these years later, you don't trust Obi-Wan? What do you mean? You think that he trained Vader? to slaughter the Jedi?
Yeah.
I would have been more understanding of her plight as far as, the whole I don't trust Obi-Wan. They could show this next episode. If during that 10-year gap where all these Jedi are on the run and she's looking for help and people tell her Obi-Wan's alive, and then maybe she ran into Obi-Wan and he's like, I'm no Jedi,
Yeah.
What, that
Like,
he encountered her already before?
Yes,
No.
like the whole thing where he's run into Jedi who are asking for help and like, I recognize you, Master, and he rejects her and he says, abandon the Jedi way. We lost.
Wait, so you're saying that she would have encountered him when she was younger?
I'm saying I would have bought into that
Versus
Yeah.
an alternative story. Okay.
Yeah.
versus her thinking back to Order 66, being like, where's Jedi? Where's Obi-Wan? Hello, he's in Upatau getting blasted by Commander Cody.
Actually, better question
And
is
Grievous fighting General Grievous, who was leading the Separatist army.
why was she asking for Obi-Wan in the first place? There was an army of Jedis in the temple. Why specifically Obi-Wan?
Because
And why did he
Anakin-
answer? He could have answered, I was fighting for my goddamn life. Didn't you see they slaughtered 99% of the goddamn Jedis? You thought I was at the beach somewhere, having fun?
And again,
no.
it's the blindness part, because she's just tying the fact that Anakin came there to the Jedi Temple to slaughter the younglings and all the other Jedi. She's tying it to, well, who was in charge of Anakin? Oh, Obi-Wan. Where the hell was Obi-Wan? But it doesn't make sense. I don't buy that. I don't buy. This is someone that's had 10 years to mull over what really happened during Order 66. What did the other Jedi do? You're coming to the conclusion that this is Obi-Wan's fault? I'm sorry. No.
Yeah, no,
I can't. I can't. And you see what I mean? When you asked me earlier, did I like the aspect of her infiltrating the Empire and doing all this stuff with like getting close to Vader? I like that. I like that concept. But then you do scenes like this and it ruins it. It ruins it.
Oh my God.
I get it. No, I agree. I agree. I feel that's, and we talk about writing and being inspired writers. That's poor writing. You have 10 years, a 10-year gap within your story that you could play with so much, but you just throw it into that one instance, Order 66. Like, you could have, she's an original character. You could have done so much. But yes, I'm the same way. I'm not here for the motive. I'm here for the results, what she wants. But like the driving factor, or at least the part of not teaming up with Obi-Wan, you kind of lost me. Now, with all that said, that was a kick-ass fight, because Vader just like shut that shit down. Like,
without Vader versus Tala?
Versus Reva.
Reva, okay.
Yeah.
Before the fight, do you want to speak how she tried to sneak in behind him as if she was a goddamn cat? It's like,
that was
I'm
not
going
the time.
I'm going to assassinate Vader.
This pulled me out. You spent the better part of 10 years infiltrating the Empire with the goal of getting close to Vader, and you think this is your best and again, people are going to go back to what Obi-Wan said. He's toying with her. Obi-Wan's saying, oh yeah, you can get the drop on him because he's focused on me. You can get the drop on him. But it's like, the ship escaped. Vader's just looking at the sky. She's sneaking up behind him with a baseball bat. I'm sorry, a lightsaber. And does a scream before. I hate movies that do that, by the way.
Did she scream? Did she scream?
It was a very brief, like, and then she swung. I always hate that. I hate that. I hate when shows or movies do that, where someone's trying to sneak up on like the enemy or whatever, and they have this element of surprise, but then they give the person that they're sneaking up on chance to react because they scream right before they try to attack them. Reva did it a little bit, but again, pull me out. Why are you attacking him now? 10 years of buildup. And think about it. Reva, despite her being angry all the time, right? And she's thinking with her emotions. She's calculating. She has to have been. She's gotten this far in the Inquisition and the Empire, but now it's like, I guess because she's closest to her goal now, she's like, hey, the apple is kind of dangling from the tree. I kind of want to jump and grab it.
I think, Obi-Wan kind of dangled that apple in front of her, saying, you gotten this far. We could work together. She got a taste and she went for it. But with that said, if Vader goes to a bacta tank, like after every little mission, hello, take him out there.
Okay, even better. He had to take one of those carrier cargo ship to go back to the Star Destroyer, put a bomb in the carrier cargo ship that he was gonna go in. It flies off. You press the button. He dies.
I want it to be personal.
Oh, personal by yelling again.
There is the personal part. She definitely wanted it to be personal. But with that said, too, dial back to Order 66. How did she survive?
She got stabbed in the stomach. I know she did.
Now, about that scene, because I know what you're talking about. Do you want to mention it?
What?
Either of you about.
She got stabbed in the stomach and she was able to crawl, hide under dead bodies, survive the stormtroopers clearing out the bodies, and somehow Anakin did not notice that he somehow missed kill a youngling. It would have been better if she was hiding somewhere else. If she would have
just got out.
Yeah, or she was hiding in the air vent and she looked down. She was like, "Oh my god, it's Anakin! Fuck, we messed up," and she runs off.
So
here, she survived twice.
So there's two perspectives you can look at this from. And I kind of told Toasty about this earlier when watching this episode. So you have the scene with Vader versus Reva, which I think we can agree that scene was badass. It was nice seeing Vader in the beginning only using the Force by just pushing her around.
He never used his own lightsaber.
Never used it. I listen, and again, I just didn't like what led up to this scene, but I liked the end result.
Yes,
it was a really cool scene, and then he takes her lightsaber, splits it in two, almost in an honorable way. He's like, "Hey, here you go."
He did. He did. Yeah.
And then he took it back again. I thought it was an amazing fight.
He was toying with her. He was toying with her, which is hilarious.
The whole time.
It shows the gap. It shows the gap in power. So at the end of this fight, Vader impales her. And there's a brief flashback scene where you see from Reva's perspective from when she was a youngling, and it's Anakin during Order 66 coming up to her and stabbing her. There's two ways you can interpret this. There's the literal sense that Toasty was saying, where this was a flashback for Reva for when Anakin stabbed her during Order 66. And she's remembering that now, saying, "Oh my God, he's stabbing me again, just like in Order 66. There's the other side. I initially watching it, I thought it was like this. I thought that wasn't a literal flashback to when Anakin stabbed her. I just thought it was like a metaphor to showing like, wow, all these years later, I feel just like a youngling again, like big, scary Anakin walking up to me and stabbing me as if I had not grown at all in the last 10 years. That's what I saw that as. But at the same time, I can also see it as, was she actually stabbed as a youngling? But then that raises the question, like what Toasty was saying,
how did she
get out? Stabbed in the chest by Anakin Skywalker, who is going for the kill in Order 66. How did you survive? Oh, I hid amongst the bodies. I'm sorry. Don't lightsabers insta-kill during chest impales?
We have, that's my whole thing, is that we have seen in multiple instances, someone gets stabbed in the chest, stabbed in the abdomen, they die. Key example of abdomen, Qui-Gon Jinn got straight up stabbed by Darth Maul in the abdomen. He's dead.
He didn't have the will to live.
It is not a matter of
people will counter that and say Darth Maul got cut in half. His hate for Obi-Wan.
Darth Maul was not a youngling.
But also my whole thing too with the idea, and this is kind of logically in physics, a lightsaber is like cauterizing a wound. If you get cut in half, that blood is not dripping. Your wounds are technically fried. So, you know.
Oh, yeah. There's that. Because we never really see like blood splattering. Like
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. That's always been my logic with a lightsaber. That's why when those limbs get cut off, they're not dripping. They're just kind of
they're burned.
smoky. Yeah, they're burned. But I don't know. I mean, again, here we have the Grand Inquisitor back from his abdomen wound. He looks like, what was he just sitting back recovering this whole time?
I was just napping. I was in a Bacta tank.
maybe because he just shows up and he's like, third sister.
You'd be surprised.
Back in the gutter.
Oh my God.
So there's discrepancy on should lifesavers kill you after being impaled or what,
or does the will to live, or rather the hatred during the will to live or for like revenge, does that keep you going? Because Reva gets impaled, right?
And she's alive. She's alive.
She's clearly alive because it even comes after that line that the Grand Inquisitor gave her, which I like how he took the pin back from her saying, "Thank you, Grand Inquisitor."
Yes, that was a very good delivery. I enjoyed that.
That was petty.
It was super petty. It was straight petty. The moment he mentions the gutter again too, he's like, "Oh, look at you now."
Back when
in
we
the
found
gutter.
You. Like again, he says that line saying you'd be surprised of like I forgot how he worded it, but it was like the will to live or the will to seek revenge, what it does to your survivability. And it's like, okay, you're clearly saying that because A, that's what you did, and B, that's what Reva's gonna do.
That's what she needs to do.
That's what she needs to do. What she's going to do, I don't know. What's that? It's the thing.
It's very ambiguous. She got the communicator with Bail Organa,
right?
And we don't know what she's about to do with this knowledge. That if one, they name drop Owen, who she already encountered, Owen, who outright lied to her and said, "I don't know any Jedi. I'm not hiding any Jedi."
They said children.
They said children, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And Tatooine. So I'm left with two things. Either she herself was going to try to take out Vader again by baiting Luke to be like, here's a child. Because she does not know that Leia nor Luke are the child of Vader.
There was no way to connect that from the from that communication, right?
Right, but with that communication, you can either bait out Vader or the Empire to come get this boy, or maybe she could put it together too. Like, why is Obi-Wan sent to protect? Because she knows who Bail Organa is. She knows Leia is that daughter. But why would this dude be talking about, I need to go to Tatooine to protect this boy? So now she's putting it together in her head that whoever this boy is must be of great importance,
Right.
And maybe Leia is more important than she thought. Maybe she's not just a princess, But with that said too, I mean, Vader's not heading to Tatooine.
He has no reason to.
Yeah.
Whatever Reva is about to do is about to draw everybody to Tatooine. Whatever she's about to do. And again, her ambition is way too great because she's about to cause major problems for everybody.
Obi-Wan's gonna kill her.
Oh, he's gonna flip. He's gonna, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Reva!
You want to kill Vader, then you lead him to this boy. You want him to die like a youngling, like your friends. What are you doing?
I'm just using him as bait. I'm angry.
That's not good enough.
We'll see what happens, man. We mentioned her. Do we want to talk about Leia in this episode?
Leia, super spy, investigator, machine repairer.
She took forever, though. She took forever.
I wish they gave her more in that scene.
Agreed.
Because it's very problematic where you're sending a child into that little I I guess, vent or something.
Circuitry. Yeah.
Yeah. And the whole time, for the better part of 20 minutes, it's, Leia, have you found the red wire? I'm working on it. Leia, the stormtroopers have broken the front lines. Have you found that red wire? I'm working on it. Leia, Darth Vader is coming down the hallway. Have you found that red wire?
I am working on it.
I'm working. You see what I mean? And again, I get it. She's a child actor. They can't do too much like complicated, but give her something like, I found the red wire, but it's how do I connect it to this piece and that. This pulls me out. I don't like it. I don't like that they did this because it just makes it seem silly. She's looking for a red wire.
Same thing with the character Haja, Kingo, Kumail Nanjiani. Okay. He's just standing there screaming at her. Did you find the wire? Like, why bring this actor and this character back to literally do nothing?
Actually, no, he's the one that dropped the communicator on the ground when he was running away.
He did. He's an idiot.
Which Tala ended up finding. So at the end of the day, it was
Reva found
Reva, yes. I'm sorry. Reva ended up finding.
Was that an accident? Was that intentional?
It was an accident because he was fixing his rope for whatever reason because he had to look good as he was running away from Darth freaking Vader, and it fell off. He turned around. I can't tell you if he saw it or not, but he did turn around as it fell off. It showed it on the ground, and he kind of went away, but nobody noticed it. So
one scene, because what Toasty said reminded me, Darth Vader's down the hallway. One scene I really liked, Darth Vader coming in, the getaway ship going away. Boom.
Oh, yes.
Boom.
Yes.
Yeah. Where are you going? Where are you going?
That was so good. That is the kind of Vader I've been waiting for. Like, this dude just
We've never seen this kind of Vader before, right?
We have, not in film.
Not in film.
Not in film.
Right. We've seen it in games.
In games, right.
Actually, yeah, mostly games, I think.
Actually, it's crazy because I mentioned it last week also when they were running away in that small ship. They could have stopped them. But here come Darth Vader starting an entire
wait,
ship.
No, Reva could not
have stopped because doing that, what Vader did, they've always built up that to do that, you got to be powerful with the Force. Like that ain't no easy feat.
Its rockets were going. It was going.
It was ready to take
and he brought it down. It was badass.
And then he ripped the whole hall in two goes.
Oh my God.
Because he was looking for
where are you?
Obi-Wan.
Where are you?
And I'm done. I'm tired.
And again, I like this scene, but then it makes it a little bit silly because it turns out they're not on that ship. They're on another ship.
It's a good fake out.
It was, but like, what was the like? Were you guys so like when you guys were on ground and you saw the fake out ship go up? Were you guys just staring at Vader saying, "Oh my God, bring that thing down, so we can"?
Yes,
make
I was
the
like,
getaway?
Oh, what if Vader had not gotten there on time and the ship left?
What would you know? What? That's a good question. If the ship left and Vader did not catch it in time, they are dead.
Actually, basically, they said, "Let's wait for Vader because if we leave,
Actually, no. Vader would have sensed.
Maybe he would.
Vader would have sensed Obi-Wan.
Let's chase the ship.
It would have not worked because Vader would have still needed to sense Obi-Wan. He would have not sensed him as he's chasing the face.
He would have sensed Obi-Wan on the ship, the real one. He
on the real planet.
The one that left. Obi-Wan's still around.
Exactly.
Hey, there you are. Hey, you guys didn't leave. You see when you think
lottery, dude.
These plot threads, like this is why there were moments I liked. That scene, Vader catching the ship. I love that. I loved it. It gave off vibes. I don't know if either of you played
Star Killer.
Force Unleashed.
Yeah, he stopped the Star Destroyer, or he paused it midair.
And he brought it down. No, he did. He brought one down.
Yeah,
he brought it down. That was so cool. I got vibes like that. And kudos to Hayden. This is probably the most intimidating walks I've seen of Vader in like live action. I know we have the iconic hallway scene in Rogue One where he's just walking slowly, and
that's not Hayden though. That's not Hayden.
Right. It's not Hayden. It's just whoever's playing as Darth Vader in that scene. They're just doing the typical methodical slow walk of Vader, which is still cool. I still love that scene, but Hayden just adds a new element. Like even in the last week's episode, when he thinks Reva failed him for losing Obi-Wan, it's something about that speed walk, man. I don't know what it is. And then he just says, "You have failed me for the last."
Funny, they are really emphasizing the mechanics of the walk. It emotes its own presence. Way he's walking, because Vader is faceless. He gives no emotion.
He's got to show it in his movement.
In the movements, right? If you had the captions on, it says he strained a little trying to bring that down. Like he got it, but then
struggle, like there's a struggle subtitle.
Yeah, he was struggling, but with that said, that's gonna fuel his anger because he's like, I'm not trying to lose Obi-Wan another time.
Right.
I'm tired of the shenanigans. I'm tired of people failing me. I got to do everything myself, So yeah, he's got to sell the physical performance, and I think he is selling it. I think he's doing a fantastic job.
He is. I love it.
But goodness, so what? I think we covered pretty much everything.
Yep.
Yeah,
everything. Again, I still feel the good stuff that we talked about this episode. That sells it for me for maybe this one being the best, or maybe number 2 to episode 1. I don't know, but there was a lot of good stuff here. There was I hate to say there's as much good as there was bad, but there
was. Be honest. Be honest, and it's okay. Yeah. It's okay to say that
because the good part was good.
The good parts were good. We talked about what we liked.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not just us coming on here saying, "Oh my God, Obi-Wan's terrible, 0 out of 10."
No, not at all. I just feel the good here really outweighs a lot of the good in the other episodes. That's my whole thing. Like this good was it felt like a penultimate episode. The good stuff that happened, it felt like, oh, this is gonna lead into the finale. We got a Vader Reva confrontation. We got a cool flashback. We got a cool demonstration of power. Now the finale's got to up it. They got one more episode to really deliver. And again, this is a mini series. This is a conclusion.
This is one and done.
Yeah.
One and done. Now, again, they could bring back Obi-Wan or Darth Vader or Anakin in any kind of capacity moving forward.
Which, by the way, I do want to point out, I've been seeing a lot of news outlets on social media saying breaking Obi-Wan confirmed for season 2. Don't listen to that. Don't listen to that. Just because they put breaking right before their tweet or post, whatever, that doesn't mean they're telling the truth. No green light for season 2 yet. But I just wanted to point that out there because you mentioned about the mini-series thing.
Right. No. So yeah, I don't fall for that fodder. But you can bring these characters back in any kind of Star Wars format. Hayden Christensen said he would love to reprise Darth Vader.
I welcome him.
He's already rumored to be appearing in Ahsoka. Ewan McGregor says he would love to come back and do Obi-Wan if the story is good, because he said he had so much fun doing this. So the door is open. Again, what we need is some really good writers to come in and have a consistently good outing with these characters, and that's what we've been lacking here in a lot of the Star Wars live action. It has not been consistent across the board,
except Mandalorian. I'm gonna say that
Mandalorian has some bumps, but
it has some bumps, but it so far it is the most consistent.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, no, you're right. I'm definitely hyped for more Mandalorian. I'm hyped for anything Dave Filoni is heading, Mandalorian and Ahsoka. So I'm here for it. But next week we got the finale. I think we already expressed some of the things we'd like to see. We know we're going to get one final confrontation with Vader and Obi-Wan.
What do we want out of that? Do we want more kendo or more of the slower,
We're-
methodical fighting?
We're not going to get Kendo with Vader. He can't. He physically can't.
What about Obi-Wan doing kendo?
Obi-Wan is dabbling a bit. He might be able to give us some, but in reality, he really doesn't need to. He's fighting a Tin Man, you know?
Yeah.
But I think we do. I really want that talk. I want them to have a sit down and talk it out.
Oh no, they're not gonna talk. What's gonna happen? Reva and Obi-Wan are gonna team up against Darth Vader. Reva is gonna remember her training day as a young Len right before she gets killed. And Darth Vader is gonna get jealous and say, "Oh, you look like you found another Padawan. Time to teach you a lesson, old man. Let's go." That's really how it's gonna end.
Reva's not making it out. I don't think she's making it out.
No,
she's gonna die.
She's gonna die next week for sure.
Unless they want to keep her alive. And
They could.
Wanna keep her alive. They could. I mean, apparently, chest wounds with a lightsaber is not the buy all end all.
It's
so,
not.
Just need to.
Funny enough, a lot of people did think he was about to do the Count Dooku head chop, the scissor chop
from Revenge of the Sith.
from Revenge of. I thought that's what he was gonna do too.
It did kind of look, yeah, it did, because he had both lightsabers.
He was ready.
So,
he was ready.
Yeah, that would have
Yeah.
honestly. I mean, obviously, if they do that, she's dead. So there's nothing you can
Right.
do with her. But you'd be surprised what the will to live for
Exactly.
revenge.
Oh, right.
The head can live. Don't worry.
We may
Back
get
to Tank.
Right. We may get a convoluted meeting of Luke and Leia in the finale, you know.
Really?
If
I
they're
don't
going
think
back to
so.
Tatooine and they're trying to get Luke, they might have a brief passing.
I don't think they're gonna talk though because they didn't know
No,
each
they
other in
won't
the
talk.
original movie.
They won't talk.
No. They're not gonna. Yeah,
And
they're
they
not gonna
won't
exchange
exchange
names.
names either.
They're not gonna exchange names. No.
Yeah.
I could see a passing, like, 5 seconds. Hi. Done.
Yeah. No. Literally, just some eye candy for people. You know.
Right.
Oh, they met as kids. Oh,
They just
cool.
don't know. They don't
Or,
know.
Oh, Obi-Wan standing next to both of them at the same time.
Oh,
you know.
wow. Yeah. He has not
Yeah.
done that since they were born.
Exactly.
Interesting.
So
Wow.
might get a little bit of that. But it's got to be epic. It's you set yourself up with 6 episodes. You gotta deliver.
Do we know how long the finale is? Is it
We don't, but this episode was only like 36 minutes.
36?
I promise you, this episode was like 36 minutes.
Damn.
Oh my
Okay.
God.
So
That's-
I hope it's like an hour at least.
Please.
It has to be.
I mean, if it's quality, give us an hour.
Give me
Give
an
us an
hour.
hour.
Yeah. Like,
Right.
again, if they just do more of what this episode did right, I will be fine with the finale. But
Same.
since it's the finale and this is kind of like what the whole series was kind of building up to, like what is that final confrontation between Obi-Wan and Darth Vader before the original trilogy starts? I just hope they can deliver. Do I need like a whole Mustafar scene where they're battling for like 30 minutes back to back? I don't need that, no. But even though that scene was, God, I love that scene. I could watch that like 30
It
times.
is.
I don't need that, but the final confrontation, it's like your Naruto versus Sasuke.
Yes.
Right.
Definitely.
It's like we need this. You better deliver. You've been building up to this. Let's see what they do.
We shall see next week, next Wednesday. We shall see. But listen, folks, that's it from us here at the Yonkō Table. Be sure to join our Patreon so you can join the Discord page and join the further conversation we'll be having on there. If you like what we said, come tell us about it. If you disagree, if you want to debate, if you want to go a couple of rounds, by all means, join us on the Discord. And again, that's through our Patreon. But of course, find that information following all our social media sites, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and we'll be YouTube as well. And, wherever you listen to us, Spotify, Apple Music, we got you covered, okay? But that's it from the Yonkō Table covering Obi-Wan Episode 5. I'm GrandMasterHoop. That's DrJaceAttorney. There's Toasty. And we're signing off. We'll see y'all next week.